Our next pillar covers operational excellence, people and culture, and innovation in technology. Please join me in welcoming the next moderator, Laura King, who will be covering GLOCAL. She's the Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and this is the perfect blend of global and local through one global. So, I don't want to embarrass Laura, but I might a little. So, Laura just had her 4th year anniversary here at World Travel. Congratulations, Laura.
Thank you.
I know.
I did on Monday.
I know, right?
I totally forgot about it until Tuesday, and I asked my team where was my cake.
But if we rewind the clock, that brings us into COVID. She was a COVID hire. Pretty exciting, right? So while others were downsizing their businesses and their operation, etc., we took that opportunity to make sure that we went to work. And what we did is we recruited the right skill set, and we went to work to look at what solutions we needed on a global level, a multinational level, and a national level. Hence why here we are presenting to you One Global.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
It is perfect timing. And I guess we could say, Laura, that One Global actually makes the globe a little smaller?
Yeah, pun intended.
All right, so I'm excited to hear more about One Global. Let me hand it over to you.
Awesome, thank you so much. It's so exciting to be talking about this. I feel like so many of our symposiums have been talking about it's coming, One Global is going to be the future, and now it's actually here. So we're really excited to talk about it. And with it being live, all of the technology is ready. Our technology platforms are ready to go. So I'm going to bring up our panel, and we're going to talk about GLOCAL. So let's start with Amanda Schmitt, Global Travel Manager with Mimecast. All right, and Dana Musson, General Manager at Travelpath, our partners in Canada. All right, we have Lisa Lundquist, VP of Global Accounts and Global Agency Partners. And last, George Gadebusch, VP of Global Sales with World Travel. I'm gonna join you guys over here. All right, welcome everyone. So why don't we first start off and go down the line and introduce yourselves, and then we'll kick it off talking about GLOCAL. Amanda, would you like to start? Oh yeah, we can pass the mic down. There we go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Amanda Schmitt, and I'm with Mimecast. I'm the Global Travel Manager there.
Hi, I'm Dana Musson from Travelpath. We're World Travel's Canadian partner. We've been partners with them since 2005, and we share over 30 accounts, I believe, together right now, where we're servicing the Canadian offices of their US customers.
Hi, I'm Lisa Lundquist. I'm our Vice President of Global Accounts and also our global partnership with our community agencies throughout the One Global network.
And I'm George Gadebusch, Vice President of Global Sales for World Travel. Many years with the organizations. The original years were on the tech side. Now we're over on the business development side, supporting our One Global efforts.
Awesome, thank you all. So when we were rolling out the title of this panel, Amanda reached out to me. She's like, I think you have a typo. What's GLOCAL? That's a typo, right? And I'm like, no, it was planned, actually. So Lisa, do you want to kick us off and explain what GLOCAL actually is?
Yes, and I have to kind of slap my hand a little bit. I use the word network, which is a very dirty word. We don't use that word, and you'll come to discover why throughout this panel session. We're a community. But so the word GLOCAL, first of all, is not a typo. It's really a combination of where you get the global consistency, compliance, and visibility in your program without giving up the market nuances and the in-market expertise by all of our community partners. And that's really important because I think that really gives you coverage over not only what the travel manager wants, but what the procurement person wants, and also what the travelers themselves want. And that really goes back to what everyone was talking about earlier in different sessions about wellness, about the next generation and what they're going to be looking for.
Awesome, thank you. All right, and so when forming One Global, why was World Travel and Clarity so focused on this GLOCAL approach?
So it's been quite a journey, actually. I've been here for 8 years now, in my 8th year. And we started with forming bilateral networks, or we were part of a network, again, dirty word now. And that worked really well for us for a while. We're able to service clients, we're able to have great relationships with our partners like Travelpath. They came to us as a partner long before all of this. And so that worked for us, but there was always something missing. And as Jim and Liz would come and say, what else can we do? How can we do better? How can we take this to the next step? We researched a lot of people that were out there doing other affiliations, other networks. They were all kind of the same. And we didn't just want the same, we wanted better for our clients. And we felt like they were all missing something. So Clarity is our UK partner. They've been a partner of ours for a very long time. They were kind of feeling the same. So as the leadership and ownership had conversations, they decided that forming a JV and really trying to take everything to the next level was where we wanted to go. So those discussions started to happen, and some of the holes we wanted to fill were technology. We did not want to give up the local expertise and service, but we wanted to offer some global technologies and have exclusivity, which is extremely important. Having exclusivity with our partners means that they're only working for the community, with the community, for the betterment of the community. And all of our partners really live and breathe that, and so we're very proud of where we are today.
Awesome.
If I can add in something there. So first of all, GLOCAL, kind of hard to say, kind of a weird word. It's not even really a word, right? But the way Lisa explains it, it's easy to understand. And the way I look at it is we don't want to Americanize the globe, right? We understand that our global partners that have concerns in other markets, they have unique challenges. They have regulations, they have culture, they have currency, they have content, they have different policies, all sorts of different things. So we felt it was best to admit that we aren't the experts around the globe. We are experts in our market. Clarity's expert in the UK. All the other community members are experts in their areas. So they have the name brand recognition, they have the expertise, they have the understanding, they have the tenured employees, they have the technology, the service levels. All of that's what really brings it together and makes this program and this platform whole.
Awesome, thanks, George. So what are the most compelling reasons to globalize a program? So if somebody has business in different parts of the globe, but they haven't globalized yet, what are those most compelling reasons, and what makes it successful?
Yeah, so I really think the most compelling reasons that we hear from our clients are wanting that visibility into the spend, right? Wanting compliance to their travel policy and their program so that they can use that for better deals, et cetera. And then duty of care. So those are really the three reasons why people either get pushed or come to us wanting to globalize. So I think it's really important to have those things and start building a program. So once you've got the data coming in, once you start to have visibility, then you can start thinking about other things that are important. And I think what I always say to our salespeople who get sick of me sometimes when they come to me with new prospects, but clients really have to do their homework. They need to understand those markets. They need to understand what their travelers are doing. They need to understand what's important to them. To what George said, it's not just putting in an American program in other regions. So are they using low-cost carriers? Do they mostly travel within their region? Do they travel on trains mostly? Are they just flying international? All of those things are things that are going to give us insights in how we put a program together for your particular region or country, and they might not all look the same. So some of them might have a hub mentality because they're all euros and you can put them in a hub and that's the way to do it. Others might need in-country service like Brazil because of tax laws and other complexities with content. But you doing your homework up front is gonna help us help you and make sure that you have the very best program for all of your travelers, not just pushing something out.
Definitely. Dina, do you have anything to add from the Canadian side of all of that?
Yeah, I'd say. Is that on? Yep. Okay. I'd say when it comes to having a successful global implementation and program, having engagement with your key stakeholders in the various markets, having those conversations, and like Lisa said, understanding those local nuances. Do they have different approval processes? Are they using different forms of payment? What sort of data needs to be collected, and how do you want that reported on? I've been involved myself in a lot of implementations between Canada and the US, and you'd be surprised the number of differences that you'd come across, seeing that we're so close together geographically, but when it comes to the travel markets and how different companies are operating, there are those uniquenesses and differences with every company, and so it's important. We struggle sometimes where customers just want to take an approach where it's led by maybe one team of people, and having those conversations, whether it's a discovery call ahead of launching your new market, or inviting some stakeholders from those areas to participate in those discussions and implementation conversations that are held on a weekly basis. It makes sure that all of their wants and needs are sort of taken into consideration. And then when it comes time to launch those programs, everything is sort of already in play. Your travelers are sort of on board because, they feel like their voices have been heard, and what was important to them got, looked at and thought about.
Awesome, thank you. So Amanda, I'm shifting over to you now as the client on the panel. So you've experienced a global rollout with World Travel, and you have previous experience with global programs as well. So how has globalizing benefited your program, and what was your experience like?
So I would say from my experience, when I first started with Mimecast, they told me, hey, we're going through this implementation, World Travel has the business. I honestly was unsure about World Travel because I've come from previous companies where we've had the big box, the BCDs, the Amexes. So in my mindset, I thought we needed that. Like, why are we not, we're gonna have all these local ones, it's gonna be all disconnected. And then we went through the implementation and I was completely wrong. So what I've experienced with it is just the amount of detail that each region that we're having. So to have a local, so like for example, Dana, to have a local account manager in those regions that's going to help us and know best practice and hey, and looking at our program and really you should add this. Canada was our first one after the US. So it was a big shift. We had Canada hubbed under the US. So for our employees to see like the content change and adding low-cost carriers and all those different things, it was huge. So also too, just to go on the whole like network community thing, for me, I'm in Pittsburgh, so I'm fully remote. My company's in Lexington, so like I don't feel connected with anyone. So going through this is nice. Like on the call, my Teams wasn't working, and like I heard her voice, and I was like, oh, that's Dana. So it's like connecting with everyone and knowing like I've built those relationships with all the global partners. Even at the last symposium, I think in the fall, it was like global people were there. So we were going through a city state. I got to see some of the account managers face to face. So it's been a huge benefit going with World Travel. They've helped us out a lot with our data. So I've just seen what we weren't getting before and that I thought we should have had. So like David on our team, he's been amazing. Our AP, we have a CTA for airfare and agency fees. And they were doing such a manual process of pulling in like 3 or 4 different files, VLOOKUPs, all this. And then I'm like, there has to be a way. Like, they're capturing the reportable fields. Like, what's going on? And then both David, so David on the US and then David in Canada, I always confuse the two. But they're amazing to work with.
Just say David, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
They all have a David.
David, yes. But like, they've saved our AP tons of work, and it just helped to streamline our process and look at everything. So going global and having that local partnership has been huge for us, and I will never ever think differently than what I do now. So
That's awesome.
And they're not just in Canada. They're in many countries. So.
yes.
And we were going to call those David's Evolution of Travel, but we went to D2 instead.
D2. D squared. That's so funny. When we're talking to new prospective clients too, it's really important because I always say, don't just think about what you've had in the past, but think about what would make your life easier. So with all those reporting fields and everything that you needed, not just, okay, let me replicate what I did and what we've always done, but what would make your life better? And how can we as partners solve for you and do that? So that's a really great point.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we have to give our implementation team props because they really, during implementation, talk about those things and walk through what are the best practices that our other clients are using. And because we're not you fit into our box company, we have a lot of really great ideas and things that we've done for other companies to help them streamline. And the implementation team, along with the account managers who are on all of those calls, really help them find a better way for those things.
And then just to add back to, where I came from, those big box ones, it was always like a general mailbox. So the difference here too I've seen is, different things in our travel policies that we might have set up. So like thresholds for international airlines, certain regions might say, well, you really need to up that. It doesn't make sense to have, 10,000 for the US and then, Singapore needs to be higher and so forth. Like it's a constant communication with these local partners that they're looking at our program and they truly do care and they're looking to streamline and make everything better to help the client. So it's been great.
Yeah, and with those relationships, I always joke, they're real live people. It's not like submitting an IT ticket and you'll hear back from the man behind the curtain like Oz in a few weeks and you don't know who it is. It's the people that went through the implementation with you and understand. So it's really that partnership. So it's really important. All right, so I'm gonna ask all of you this question. We're gonna go down the line and you can add to it. It doesn't have to just be one word. What is most important in a global program, technology or service?
I'm going to say service for me, just because it all varies on the region and what needs done and what local things are going on. So yeah, service is definitely number one. And
I don't know if I can pick one.
It's hard.
It's really hard. From the TMC side, service is always kind of like number one, right? You want to make sure your travelers get to where they need to be, they get there safely, and you're saving money and hopefully getting the best price for that ticket for your client as well. And when things go wrong, they have to have somebody there that they can call. And I think that that's important to have that service available, but technology is it's a way to make things simpler, I think, in a way where having those online booking tools, being able to go and just look at those options and, sort through all of the different policy rules are already programmed for your travelers. And so they don't need to worry if they're booking within policy or breaking a rule. Concur will guide them into making those right decisions. The reporting capabilities too, and just being able to consolidate all the information. I don't know, your jobs would be so much more difficult if you didn't have the likes of consolidated reporting and world analytics and how do you pull all that information together. So I think they have to go hand in hand. You can't really have one without the other.
Well, and I'm going to say along the same lines as Dana, you have to have the proper technology that functions simply and where it makes sense for the easy stuff and the stuff that can be the right tools for the people who provide the service. And when something goes wrong, that's when it really counts. And that's when you need those people to be available and to be able to service and help your travelers. It kills me every time I'm in an airport, and I travel often, and you see the people at the customer service line because their flight was canceled. I literally one time went down the line. Did you book through a travel agency? Did you book through a travel agency? I'm calling mine. I don't have to stand in this line. So it kills me that people, and some people in the line were like, yeah, and I'm like, call them. Call them. And so people just sometimes have a hard time remembering that.
I'm sorry, George, I'm just going to add in. So the number of times that we've actually gained customers because of our travelers have been standing at the airports, speaking with our agent, and they're hearing how quickly their issues are resolved, and they say, who are you working with? Who is your agent? I want their phone number. I'm calling them the next time I need to book.
Lisa, you're now part of the sales team. Thank you. So here's the shocker. I mentioned the technology background, so I'm sure you're all thinking he's going to say tech, that's the most important. It's not, but I'm not going to say service is the most important either. I will agree with Lisa and Dana. It has to be both. It drives me crazy when companies, travel or otherwise, build themselves as technology companies, but you know they have nothing behind the scenes. At the same time, we don't want to just have service and then no technologies to create efficiencies, consistency, savings across the board. So you really have to have both of those to have a complete package. And that's what we've endeavored to do, and we have done. So we're really proud of that.
Awesome, thank you guys. So Lisa, back to you. Why was One Global not developed as a follow the sun model?
Well, first of all, because it's not the kind of service we want to provide to our clients. And frankly, my opinion is that it never really worked. It was always kind of a thing that megas had or people tried to make work, but kind of like some of the conversation that was up here in some of the last panels, there's so many different plumbing type things that go into it and different GDSs and technology and all the things around the world. And frankly, back to the question before, if I'm standing in the airport in Newark, I don't want to talk to someone necessarily across the world. I want to talk to my people who know my policy, what my needs are, and how to get me where I need to go. So I think as far as follow the sun, we just don't do that call center type mentality. We do very small designated, there when you need us type service. And I don't know that I would ever want us to move away from that.
Perfect. So are there any markets that are not covered by One Global, and what does that future look like? And then why not just partner with or invest in any other agencies? Or why partner with and not just invest?
So I think as you saw earlier, we have 21 agencies today, very thoughtfully planned out who those partners should be. They cover 80 countries today, and I think at the end of when we're all in, we'll probably be at about 24, right around that number. We don't want to have 50 people just so we can collect fees and all of that. We very thoughtfully wanted to go about building hubs where it makes sense. A lot of times because our clients that come to us only have a handful of travelers in a particular market. So if we can hub those in Singapore with City State or in the UK with Clarity, then there's going to be better service, and we can still do, a currency that's acceptable, a language that's acceptable, content that's acceptable. So I think thinking of all of those things, that's the direction. And we're really proud of our agencies. Like I said, it really is a community, and it is about the relationships. And it's not just a relationship with leadership, it's a relationship between account managers, between operations, between implementation, between our clients and those partners. And it also allows us to be able to share prospecting, to be able to share technology that we're thinking of, and also use the best of everyone's collective technology.
Awesome. So Lisa, how many US-based clients does World Travel currently serve globally? And can you share like a profile of what those clients look like?
Sure. So I think about a third of our clients have some sort of global footprint, anything from 1 to about 35 or so countries or hubs. So we really run the gamut, again, across many different industries. Probably the average right now is around 4 countries, if you look at it. But that was really historically, right? I think with One Global, and certainly the plan with One Global and why we've gone down this road, is that we want to change that footprint a bit. We still want to be able to service the 4-country clients that we have, but we also want to be able to service them better. But we also want to be able to service the larger clients with the larger global footprints as well. As we grow as a company, as you grow as clients, I think that benefits all of us. And again, in our community, it only steps up the game and makes us a much more robust global choice when we have everyone's collective input on technologies and service models and what we're doing.
Awesome, thank you. So Dana, as a partner of One Global, what has your experience been like?
If I could sum it up in like one word, it would probably be just like exciting. So Christopher Gregg, the owner and president of Travelpath, first brought to me the whole idea that had been presented to him from World Travel and Clarity. I think it was early on in 2022, perhaps. And the way he described it to me was, this concept around global servicing with this, the local feel. And in my mind, it just seemed so obvious. And it was surprising to me that there was no other, similar communities or networks out there that had a similar idea and take on, servicing the world. And so right away, you want to be part of that. You want to be part of that change and getting into the market. And we were one of the first partners who signed on board with One Global. Mm-hmm. The first.
Because I called Christopher and said, I want you to be first, sign your contract.
And I think that was just before heading into, where were we, in Delaware in 2022 for the fall symposium. And that was the first opportunity where a lot of other partners came together to meet as One Global and just sort of talk around what the plans were and how things were going to grow over the next couple of years. We knew it wasn't going to, happen overnight, and it was going to be a process. But to sit here now, the start of Q2 2024, what has happened in the last 2 years is amazing. We have quarterly calls right now with our partners. Just checking in, finding out what's going on with technology, where everybody is at with bringing on board the new tools, and it's exciting, the different technologies that we're going to be able to offer those global customers, and that's where the sort of the global part comes in, where having that mobile app and similar reporting platforms and online booking tools, those important things that are going to be the same for you. And then we also have monthly sales calls as well, and where the sales teams from all the different partners are getting together and sharing information, struggles that they're having, and takeaways that they're having from conversations with customers. And we're all learning together and better positioning ourselves out in the marketplace, not only globally, but only in our own markets as well, and how to sell the global sort of idea of One Global. And so sorry. And I think we've been a part of different networks before in the past, and I think the biggest change that we're noticing right now is just the collaboration among partners. Before, there was other competitors in our marketplace where we didn't necessarily want to share our agency secrets with the agency down the road, knowing that they could just go and try and backdoor us to our clients. And we don't have that right now. There is a one partner agency in each area, and so the fear about sharing those secrets and being open with one another and learning and teaching each other, I think it just helps us grow as individual agencies to service our markets better, grow our own businesses in our area, and then when we succeed, the whole community succeeds. And so I know the conversations our sales team is having, I know all around the world, everybody is really open and receptive to this idea of One Global, and so it's exciting, to have that feedback from customers, out there really buying into the program, and so yeah.
Awesome.
I think if I could just add really quick, Dana mentioned a really good point. It allows our community partners to win and keep business that they might have had today. Maybe they've had a client in their country for a while, and that they're going to go out and look for a global bid, or they have to expand into another country. They didn't always have that opportunity to bid on that business and might lose that client because they either didn't have maybe Concur from a global standpoint. We have a global Concur contract now that they're allowed to use for their clients, which is a huge benefit. So I think they're getting something out of it. We're also getting business from them that maybe we wouldn't have gotten before. So it really is important, and we really, I guess, all eat and breathe that community feel. And it sounds a little old-fashioned, but that's really what makes us different.
Awesome. So we're talking a lot about how exciting it is and how amazing it is. Are there any downfalls to a model like One Global?
I'll take that. And I think we're probably on the same page here. It is perception. I'm sure you get that, Lisa, when you deal with our existing clients. We get that when we're dealing with new prospective clients. So historically, there have been several ways to approach global in the travel field. It is through the megas who purport to have ownership throughout the globe, which we all know isn't true. Secondly, there's working through some third party to consolidate and to bring things together. And we used that many years ago, but that creates additional parties, additional cost, additional, more cumbersome, basically. Then there is the network. It's not really a dirty word because we did use that successfully for a number of years, but we took it to the next level. So taking that network, building upon it, but making them partners, community partners, bound together by the same cultures, the same technologies, taking One Global as a platform. So again, it may look like a third-party company. It's not. It is a platform. So the biggest thing that ties in is the technology, back to my wheelhouse. So single mobile device, single reporting platform, single duty of care platform, single profiling, single hotel program, tech platform, all of that stuff really is what ties it in together. So it's a compelling story. We do have to explain it time and time again, but as we're starting to get traction on it, it's making sense. And as we start getting more and more clients on it, the proof is going to be in the pudding. It's going to be there, and it will be a lot easier to explain going forward, in my opinion. Let's hope.
Yeah, and I think the time is right. You know, I think that over years we've learned, we've struggled a little bit, but I think the time is really right. And going back to the theme of the day with wellness and the generations that are coming up and how they want travel and things, they want people who know about the places they're going. They want people who are experts in the local markets and such. So I really think the time is right. And another exciting thing about the community is we do spend time talking about what are the next things. We're not just like, oh great, we have One Global now, yay. And we did celebrate briefly, I'm sure we will again, but because it's been a big undertaking for everyone. But thinking about what can we do on the meetings and events side next within the community? What can we do for approvals? What can we do for the next things? AI, what are those possibilities within the community? So using everyone's collective voice, looking at what they're doing in their regions, what's important to them, we bring all that together and try to come up with something that is, first of all, great and inventive, but economical, and is going to really blow away our clients and give us what we need for the future.
In many ways, it's much like the advisory board that we talked about in Barb's session. It is an advisory board of our community partners. And again, we learn from each other. We share ideas. We formulate plans. And that's what's going to keep it going forward.
Well, Lisa, it's like you stole my last question. No, it's okay. What are the future plans for One Global? So you touched on it a little bit. Anything else to add? I mean, you knocked it out of the park.
See, I got excited.
You got really excited.
Obviously, I'm very passionate about this. I just really, I truly love all of our partners, and even some of our new partners. We choose them very carefully, and they do have to fit within our service expectations. And it's kind of like maybe not a fraternity or a sorority, that's probably not a good one, but we have interviewed partners in a tough region that we are still looking for a partner in. We've interviewed a couple of partners there, and the core team has come back and said, oh, they would just never fit with us, that wouldn't be good, and they just didn't have what it takes to be part of our community. So like I said, we're still doing that, we'll get there, but I think the future is really exciting, and as we bring on new clients, maybe we'll have to expand our client advisory board to a global client advisory board or some other things as we grow, because there are so many great areas we can tackle.
It's a very exclusive community.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much. Let's give them all a hand before we open it up for questions. Are there any questions for this very knowledgeable global panel? GLOCAL, excuse me. It was not a typo. Amanda's like, I think you need to fix that. She changed her LinkedIn post too. She's like, that's a typo. Any questions? Oh, perfect.
Good afternoon. My name is Willie Mae Nettles, Constellation Energy. Excuse me, I have allergies as well. Prospective client. So sitting here, I've learned a lot today about world travel, and honestly, I'm very excited. But what would you suggest as a selling point from world travel that I should take back to my team? What makes you so much better than any other TMC out here, especially on the global portion?
Somebody wants to answer for us.
Oh, shoot.
Do we have someone ready to answer for us? Because we can certainly answer that, but I want to hear this.
My name is Dawn Hall, and I'm with the United Nations Foundation. World travel will twist themselves up into a pretzel piece to do everything they can to ensure that your organization and your travelers are safe and well taken care of.
I think that's
Wow, I love you.
I
And
think
seriously,
we found our new marketing slogan.
Yeah, there you go. Pretzel.
I don't know if I would have described it that way, but I love that. I am going to use that in an upcoming presentation for sure. No, it really does kind of sum it up. So listen, we're going to look at, everybody's different in the room here. We talked about it earlier. We don't specialize in one vertical. We don't try and put all our clients into box A, B, or C. We talk to you. We learn what's going on, not just what your needs are or your challenges are, but what your culture is, what it supports, what it doesn't support. You're going to be entirely different from the client on the next table or the next table, and that's okay, because we'll build that out for you. And back to what we said before, a blend of service and technology. And I'll sound like a broken record, but we hear it all the time that this technology company came in and said they have this whiz-bang stuff, but you can't get them on the phone. You can't get an account manager. It's got to all be together, and that's what we work to do, to really make it a comprehensive program that fits you and not the rest. Everyone gets their own deal.
And I would add that we know who we are, and in the senior leadership team meetings, and as you saw, our mission and vision, it's updated, it's changed, we're going through transformation, all of that's very important. But we did talk about who we are and what's important in those parts of us that we don't want to lose, that we always want to make sure are part of those statements and part of what we do every day as owners. And so I think that's really important.
Just to add to real quick.
That's a very good question.
I'm sorry. I don't.
I think it's on.
Hello? Okay. Just to add as from the client, I will say just not having that general mailbox. You have a go-to person to go to, and they're going to respond quickly. They're going to proactively help you out with any situations, whether it's service, the way your feeds are coming in, anything like that. Go above and beyond from what I've experienced in the past.
And how long have you been with World Travel?
May will be a year. Yeah.
Hi, that's a very good question. I've been with World Travel for 13 years now, and I can honestly say, for your comfort level, they will do everything they can to help you and not abandon you and give you tools and give you support. from a local, meaning US or OUS. So you can really be, in my history with the organization, be comforted knowing that you're not just going to be on the sidelines. You are important to their business. And that's hard in this day and age of so much commerce and so many options and go-tos. So I think with that, you will have a comfort level knowing that if you don't understand or you're not sure, they'll make sure you understand and that you have that support and troubleshoot.
Thank you
Just
for that
to piggyback,
endorsement.
sorry. You made me think of something, like even expertise and knowledge. So I've never managed Australia. We were on a call and we had our global account manager and we had the local one. And they started talking about something, I think it was like the triangle or like something with our airline. And I was just like, I don't know. But she knew I was lost and she just came and piggybacked and was able to step in and figure everything out and make sure that we were able to extend things out and push forward and say, so it's just like that local knowledge from those account managers is key, and it's made a difference in a lot of things I've done recently, so.
And I will fully admit, we're not perfect. We endeavor to be, but when issues come up, we're going to address those. You'll have people to go to. You will have employee owners there for you that care, take it to the extra level. So that really is the strength of what we do. We're going to be there when you need us.
And I'll add as well for Canada. So you mentioned on the global piece, and the service really doesn't stop with World Travel. Like Lisa said, they hand select all of their partners that come into the global program, the ones that fit, that have the same sort of mentality around service and, making sure the client is well taken care of. And so, when you go outside of World Travel and you're dealing with areas like Canada, and you're going to find the same sort of care from our team as well. Our account managers work very closely with the account managers here at World Travel just to ensure that everybody's on the same page, and that everybody's, being well taken care of. And if there's anything that comes up in a local market, we're getting on the phone and we're trying to resolve it all together. So, you're being looked after from all angles.
Laura will meet you in the back of the room with a contract.
Yes. I just printed it from my phone. You're good. Got you. Awesome. We have another. Sorry, guys, I'm not stretching. I can't see the clock.
So what country or countries do you have the most challenges with?
This week? No. I would say from a One Global perspective, since we've gone down this road, we've been able to solve a lot of those challenges. So again, not perfect, but I think that obviously China is still, the one that is different, and there's not a lot of things you can do about certain things. It just is the way it is, right? So we have to sometimes help clients adjust policies or build things around, expectations around what it is. Sometimes we can't get some of the data points, out of China, things like that. India, really, we have a great partner in India, so we've been able to solve for that. India works very well now. Japan maybe is the other one, although we're handling it mostly in a hub today. But sometimes Japan can be a little challenging. But Latin America, again, we have a hub. We have great partners. I think really the pain and the road we've gone down and the knowledge we've gained from, what, Liz, 2 years or so, formulating One Global from where we all were and what we wanted it to become, we were able to really choose partners and technology and things to solve a lot of those problems. Did you have something specific in mind? Okay. Yeah, China. Yeah, I wish I could solve that one, but.
All right, we have time for one more question, if there is one more. And if not, we can do
Going
2
once.
extra minutes for our break. All right, well then we will go ahead and wrap. Thank you so much to this amazing panel, and thank you all for your great questions. All right, thank you guys.